Hi class, this is part 2 of installing SCCM. So we're going to continue where we left off. I'm going to the console for the SCCM. Going to sign in. And I'm going to continue installing the prerequisites before we start actually installing SCCM. So first thing I want to do is I want to go to Manage, Add Roles and Features. We're going to install WDS and WSUS. The next thing we're going to install is bits and remote differential compression. If you go to the BC1 line and go to resources, I have a links document. If you click on this link, it shows you the resources that are needed for SCCM. And if you read this document, it'll show you everything that you need for SCCM. Some of the things I want to point out along the way, but I can't find it right now, but it should have a list in here of all the things that we need, and bits and remote differential compression is part of it. So once we have those two items, I already have .NET 3.5 installed. This is needed by SQL Server. 4.6 is needed by Config Manager. So I already have 3.5 installed from the earlier video. .NET 4.6 is pre-installed. Bits I've chosen, remote differential compression, and we're not going to do anything with this role. We're not doing anything with this role. And we're going to specify a folder to save our updates in, which will be C updates. And some of the prerequisites for the web server, we need to turn on basic authentication under security, IP and domain restrictions, URL authorization, Windows authorization, which is already pre-checked, ASP, ASP.NET 3.5, ASP.NET 4.6. Let me see what else. IIS management scripts and tools, management services, IIS6 compatibility, management compatibility. I'm going to check all of those. And I think that's it. Click next, restart if needed, install. I'm going to pause the video while this is installing. Okay, the installation is done. The next thing we need to do is open up our firewall. According to our documentation, we need to open up port 4022 and 1433. I'm going to go back to our firewall, inbound report. I'm going to inbound rules. I'm going to create a new rule. It's going to be a port rule. It's going to be 1433 and 4022 for TCP. I'm going to allow that traffic in for all of our profiles, and I'm going to call it SQL ports. Close this up. So at this point, we're ready to install SQL Server. So what I'm going to do is go back to lab. I'm going to choose the SQL Server disk and put that in the SCCM virtual machine. Go back to the console. It didn't work, so I'm going to try it again. I'm going to eject this first. Choose the SQL Server disk. I'm choosing the 2014. I know that works. I have no documentation on this 2016, so I'm not going to try that. I'm going to stick with the 2014 and put that in the SCCM disk. Go back to the virtual machine, click it, run setup. I'm going to pause the video. This takes a long time. Don't rush it. Going into installation. I'm going to launch the top item. Be very, very careful. Don't click a bunch of different things. It's going to take a long time. Just let it do its thing. I'm going to pause the video, come back. It takes like 15 minutes for it to open up. Okay, it opened up. I'm going to do the eval copy. Accept the end user license agreement. I'm not going to check for Microsoft updates because our environment were blocked. It said it couldn't reach the update server, no problem. Don't worry about the firewall. We know we opened up those ports. There's no way for this utility to check it. We're going to do a feature install. We're not going to install everything, only selected items. We're going to do the database server and the reporting server. Again, that's on the documentation, what you can install. The only thing we really need is the database server. That's the only thing that's actually required. But we're going to do this for reporting as well. So we're going to do the reporting services and the actual database engine. And this is the correlation that we're going to use. Incidentally, that's the default. So there is my database engine server, the reporting services native, and then we're going to also install our management tools. We're going to use the default instance, and again, if you look on the document, you have to use the default instance. Oh, incidentally, I'm signed in as the domain admin, not the local admin. If you do this as the local admin, you'll cause yourself some problems. It requires window authentication, and we're going to use a domain user to start the service. You can use a local account, a local system account, but it's not the best practice. So we're going to use a domain account. It should do everything we need automatically if we use a domain and account. So I'm going to change this to be Contoso /administrator. Highlight this, copy it, and paste it down. Put in our password. I'm going to make it automatic. We can't do anything with the SQL Server browser, so don't even bother about that. We're going to add our current user. So our current user is a sysadmin account. Oh, I want to go back one. Our correlation is automatically set to Latin 1. We're going to make sure that our domain admin has unrestricted access. When we go open up our SQL management console, we'll see that this account will have sysadmin rights on the database. We're going to install and configure. A summary of what we've already chosen. I'm going to pause the video while it's installing. Okay, the installation is done. I'm going to click close. Close this out. There's a little glitch in Windows Server. Once you install something, you can't open up the menu items. So what I'm going to do is just reboot this machine. So what I'm going to do is cap the memory for SQL and verify that my admin account actually has sysadmin privileges. And so I'm going to open up SQL Server 2014 Management Studio. I'm going to pause the video. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to sign in as my domain admin account. I'm going to highlight my server, go to properties, then under general, our correlation is right. Then under memory, I'm going to do 4096 and 4096. Then under security, I'm going to go to logins, highlight my domain admin account, go to properties, and I should have public and sysadmin rights. Click OK, close this out, and reboot this server. Okay, that's it for this video. The only thing we have left now is to actually install Config Manager. So I'm going to stop this video, upload it to the server, and I will make the next video installing Config Manager. Thank you.